So one of the cool things about this radio and GMRS in general is that anybody in my family can use my license. I just don't remember my call sign, but anybody in the family can use that license. And it's pretty limited to just this band, and it costs just as much as a ham radio license, which I think is kind of ridiculous. But you don't have to study for a test or anything like that. You just basically pay the $35 and they send you a systematic call sign. So, and then once you do that, and if you buy a radio like this radio is not going to let you do anything you're not supposed to do. Okay, it's not going to let you transmit 40 watts on these bands over here that are within the FRS. These bands, these channels. So when you this is the old one, so I don't know if there's a difference. There might be yeah, they changed the bandwidth from 25 to 20. So the new one would be basically all 1 through 22 is FRS. This radio excludes channels 8 through 14 because those channels are half a watt, and apparently this radio can't be turned down to half a watt or something like that, or it can't do the 12.5 kilohertz bandwidth without like a bunch of extra BS. So this is what they call a type accepted GMRS radio. There's not a lot of them out there. Most of the radios being used on GMRS are illegal. Baofangs and other radios, even the ones marketed as GMRS radios, are illegal on GMRS because they don't follow the half a watt or the spacing or the different various things, and they're capable of just doing whatever. Which it's not a big deal if you're not doing something stupid. And most people that are going to buy these radios are not going to have a license. They're probably never going to use a repeater. They're just going to put this thing in their Jeep and talk to their buddies on it. In fact, I don't even see anything in this damn box that says that you need a license for it, but I know you do. So, but anyway, it is cool. You get your license, just pay $35. You got nothing to worry about. You're following the rules, and then if you want to use a repeater or you're traveling somewhere, because there are places where, major cities where there's a lot of activity and there are repeaters. But unlike amateur radio, the repeaters are really secretive, and they don't want like this stuff to be like public information. You got to go to mygmrs.org. You got to create an account. You got to wait to get verified and all this other stuff. It's not like you can just go look it up otherwise. Like with ham radio, you can just go on Repeater Book or look up whatever. It's public information. For some reason, there's a lot of gatekeeping going on with the GMRS, and that's why I've just never gotten into it. It's just not my thing. I mean, I don't even use the 2 meters or 440 or 220 or all the other, ham bands up in this area. So why would I use this? Except for if I was like part of an off-road club or something like that, then I could see using it. But I'm not, so I don't have much use for it. It is nice to have as a prepping type of thing to have one around, with all the other equipment and stuff like that. But I've got handhelds that can go on here too. I don't recommend really using HF, UHF, VHF, all-in-one radios like ICOM 706, 7000, what's the other one, 7100, 991A, or all of the various 2-meter 440 FM radios. I don't really recommend using those on GMRS because they were not intended to transmit on that frequency, and the bandpass filters in there don't like that without adjustment in most radios, and you could damage your radio. I'm not trying to scare you, I'm just telling you. And it's the same thing with opening up a radio, and people will say this all the time, and they'll try and discourage people from Mars modding a ham radio because they're trying to tell people don't use it on 11 meters. Well, actually, that's not usually true. But where it is a problem is on the 60 meter band, because the 60 meter band, depending on if the radio was designed to operate there or not, which most of them aren't, which is strange because that band has been open to us for a long time. The filter unit could be using the 80 meter or the 40 meter. And depending on where it's at and where it cuts off and changes, you could be really, really heating up those filters because they're acting as a band stop. They're a band stop filter. They stop all frequencies below or above a certain point. And basically, I'm not going to get too technical with it because it doesn't matter. But if you use a radio like, say, the ICOM 756 Pro on 60 meters, it doesn't even put out full power because the filters are blocking that transmission because they're designed to be optimized when it's in that position for either 40 or 80. And it sees this, 5 megahertz signal instead of 3.5 to 3.9 or 7 to 7.3, and it doesn't like it. And so you can burn up the radio by doing that with certain radios, and certain radios are not tolerant of other frequencies and also SWR mismatches and things like that. Because of that can cause you to burn up the radio. So it's just easier either get some cheap handheld radio or get an actual GMRS radio where you're not going to have a problem. Anyway, that's it for me, guys. I tested it out. I don't know where my other HT is, but I'm sure that it works just fine. And we'll just leave it at that. Well, actually, give me 1 second. All right, let's get
0, 1, 3, 4, 1, 0, 2, 4, 0.
Is that all this thing has on it?
2.
It doesn't have anything else. It's all MERS. Never mind. Okay, but I can do this. I could go into
frequency mode.
I go
4, 6, 2, 5, 7. Cancel.
new 4,
4, 6, 2, 5, 7. Cancel.
all right.
4, 6, 2, 5, 7, 5.
All right, there we go. Get this other radio over here on. This is just an old Bofang. Test 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me turn it up. Test. Okay, I can't hear anything because it's got a tone squelch on. So we would go into our simplex channel. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the Bofang. One, 2, 3, 4. Let me turn that down. 1, 2. 1, 2. Doesn't sound that good. Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I might be blowing out the front end of the damn thing. Let me move it over there. See if it does any better. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's just too close, and it doesn't like it. These the UB5Rs are known to overload the front end, so that's what we were doing. Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Okay, so now you know what it kind of sounds like on a UB5R. So that's it for me.